Over the last few days, I've thought long and hard about what I perceive to be the biggest con that's ever stuck on people in this country. That somehow somebody has done something, but I don't believe it's true. Call me old, call me a little weird. 50 years ago this year, I joined the Western Australian Police Force. Our instructor, Bert Omega, told us keep our eyes and ears open and our mouths shut and look at what's going on around you. And they taught us how to investigate things. And no matter how I try, I can't get it out of my head that I feel that Desi never did what you say he did. I don't care what he did in the past. I saw what he did in that court. What he did is what I've been doing for years. Pushing for the truth. Pushing to stop you thieves and liars and frauds stealing this country from us, the people. We are and always will be the Commonwealth of Australia. No matter what colour we are, no matter how we feel, we always come back and support each other because that's what we do. In Western Australia, I found the standard of teaching in the police force was way better, more heartfelt, more on the spot for dealing with everything we had to deal with. We looked at things with open minds and assessed them, and that's what I'm basing on what I'm going to say. If it's correct, it's correct. If it's wrong, then so be it. I got it wrong. But when you look at or listen to the lies that come out of the media, out of the police, and several times, and then you find out that Desi's wife wasn't at the house, and nothing adds up. Nothing adds up. If I was in the police force, I would be open-minded enough to investigate and drag every one of those 7 police that weren't shot, allegedly shot anyway. I don't believe anyone was shot, and if they were, it wasn't done by the person you were accusing of it. But if I was, I'd have them on the mat. And they would answer why they ran and hid and didn't stand up. Because if anybody thinks that somebody could shoot 3 of your mates and then you would run and hide while he disappeared into the bush, you are madder than I think you people are. Do I trust the Victorian police? No. Do I trust your Premier? No. Do I trust your last Premier? Absolutely not. You are not going to take the property of these people. Why? Because the people said so. You have no control over property. You cannot just go and put your windmills and garbage all over anyone's property. When the farmers chased Albanese today, they showed him people have had enough. Wake up. I sit and I thought, what about if that was my son? I have a son about as old as him, and that you accuse him of murdering 3 people. How can somebody go from what he was doing in the court, putting the law to that magistrate and then charging him like he should have, like the 4 police, or purported police, should have? It does not add up that he would go from what he believed in like that to what you describe as cold-blooded murder. I've profiled hundreds of people, even up to thousands of people, and got many arrests for serious offences when I was in the police force. I wasn't arrested, they were. I treated them fairly, humanely, and with honour. If you continue this charade, the lies, the fraud, and everything else, you will be found out. You think I'm joking? You think I'm just a silly old man? No, I'm not. I dedicated 17 years of my life so that truth could stand out. Not lies, not what other people thought I should do, what I thought I should do. And based on what I've been told, whether it's lies from the media, lies from the police, and lies from everybody else, I can only say what I feel. And what I should do now is call you out, because I don't believe Desi is dead. If he is, then it would be at the hands of yous. Not because he did anything, because you wanted to cover up for the lies, the treachery and the stealing and fraud you've committed against the Australian people. You see, on the 31st, I can't march. I can't go out there and stand there because I've got a fractured spine. And it was only 4.5 weeks since I did it. I am loath to say I don't believe a darn thing you police in Victoria have said. I don't believe what the media said, because I know the Australian Bulldust Club basically never tells the truth. Call it intuition, call it whatever you like. But I solemnly believe that you mongrels have all you did to cover up some nasty, lying piece of garbage sitting on the bench of the court, and cover for the police who ignored him, or purported police that ignored him, when you should have stood up and arrested them. They were under arrest. The sections of the Constitution, the sections of the law that he put in their face, both in the State Act and the Federal Crimes Act 1914, were legitimate and in complete tune with what I would think. I do not now, nor do I think that he shot anybody. I made up my own mind at what took place in Queensland, why somebody would shoot 2 young police officers and then go around and shoot his neighbour who he was good friends with. Does not make sense. Does not. I am disgusted to say that the police in this country are all like yous. Some of them are thugs. Some of them have got a lot to answer for. And when it comes to the police, Western Australia's got the better police than yous will ever be. Sure, they're not good. Sure, they do a lot of things wrong. They get called everything and pushed around and told they're bashers, and they do. Some of them are violent. But when someone spits in your face or kicks you or bashes you or smashes your car or does something else, you don't sit there and say, oh, you nice little boy, it doesn't mean it, I didn't mean it, I want to put up with it. No. I spent my life for people. Some people appreciated it, some didn't. Even some of my own family. Don't, please. It makes me sad to think that you people could stoop so low that you'd just murder somebody to cover up the sins of a mongrel dog who was sitting in a court when he shouldn't have been there, when everything he did was criminal, when he should have been charged and locked up. You did nothing. That makes me think that what took place at that property wasn't what you said it was. You saw a film that showed these idiots behind him annoying him, breaking up their ability to have a normal life. And what did you do? Nothing. Told them off, fined them. What a joke. If it was done here, they'd be locked up. Such is the difference between your purported police force and the Western Australian one. Do I think Western Australia is better than everybody else? Not necessarily. All I know is the morals taught to us were a heck of a lot better than definitely than you with what you've done. Am I 100% sure that you're going to take him out and shoot him and then say, oh yeah, they're a gun at me? No, that's all garbage. If he dies, then you will pay. not by me running around threatening to kill you or anything else. I don't do that, never would. But you will face something you don't even understand is sitting there waiting to get you. The people. The court was shut today. There was a case on. Yeah, right, Stephen. Look, I don't want you to interfere, please. Just don't write anything for a minute. It is my solemn belief that you set him up. It's my solemn belief you killed him. And if that's the case, or you're going to, don't. Because the people of this country will find out. Then Albanese, Penny Wong, and all you idiots that sit in our parliament, and you, Jacinta Allen, you and that little freak that you call the Premier previous, will stand trial for what you've done. When you fired on the people of Victoria, you lost it from me. I had no faith in anything you could ever do again that would be inside the law. When you spend your life standing up for the law and for what's right, which is what I did, I will not and cannot accept what you did as lawful. To fire on the people of this country, rubber bullets or not, if it hit them in the eye, they'd lose their eye or die. Doesn't take much for a little bit closer impact to take out someone's eye and their brain. You think we're going to sit back? Am I a silly old bugger? Probably sometimes. But I'll tell you this, you mark my words. The people of this country have had a guts full of you. When we march on Sunday, I say we because I'll be there in spirit, I can't march. At this time I'm lucky to walk a couple 100 yards and that's how it is. But it doesn't faze me. What I'm saying is what I feel, what I believe. I've never been wrong with my hunches. If I am this time, so be it. But if you find him and you kill him, and you're not justified in doing it, you are going to pay. You are going to pay. Believe me, I have no hatred for you. I forgive you for the garbage you've pulled so far, because I have to. Because I answer to him, not to you. But what you're doing is criminal. And you are not going to get away with it. Mark my words, you will pay. You think I'm stupid, you get your media and all your idiots and laugh at me, I don't care. But I know in my mind and in my heart, you've done something wrong. You set this up. Nothing you have put out there makes sense. I know what it takes to get a Glock out of a pouch under your arm, which most CIB carry. Well, they do in this state. It's set up so you can't just rip it out and make a mistake and shoot people with it. Your training would have taught you to do other things. Your training would have taught you not to treat people the way you are. Your training would have taught you to be humans, not dogs. And if you go out in that bush and shoot a person who is not convicted, you're nothing but a dog. Even if he did do what you said, it's not your job to kill him. It's not your job. Your job to bring him to justice. And if you kill him, you've got to explain a lot of things. Why 7 spineless dogs, that's all they would have been if they stood back after 3 of their comrades were shot and didn't even bother to see where the alleged offender went and expect people to believe that you did that, you're a nuthead. You're a lunatic. The evidence as I see it is you've lied about everything. The reason you were there and everything. You have got a company called Child Welfare or whatever, Child Protection or whatever. The Constitution that I love and follow because it's the supreme law says clearly if you're a company set up under state legislation, once you're set up, come under federal legislative authority. Where is the law, not your jokes, not your statutes, that says a company can implement law, can carry out law? You can't. And every single one of you have ABN numbers or ACN numbers. So you cannot implement law. You can't. Why? Because we said. Now, I'm not going to stay on here. I'm not whimpering. I'm not going to cry. Only for that lady and her kids if you murder him. But no matter what he did, if you murder him, which is all that's going to happen if you kill him, you murder him. And you will pay for it, believe me. The people of this country have had a guts full, and they're not going to put up with it anymore. I don't care if I do care if he has done it, actually. Very, very deeply care if he's done it, because he has to pay for it. But if he didn't, and you try and put him in a hole because you are trying to cover up for a maggot that sits in a court, and the maggots who sat at their table and said, no, I'm not going to do it, then you are worse than any of them. And you all conspired to kill him. Read section 42 of the Commonwealth Crimes Act 1914. You are conspiring to commit murder. It does matter what he did. He shouldn't have done it if he did do it. But it's not up to you to kill him. So if you do, you're going to get dealt with. If you think that we're going to let you get away with it, you got another thing coming, believe me. I feel for that family. I feel for all his friends. I even feel for the idiots who rode their trail bikes up and down and roared their tractor and brought out the chainsaw and made all those stupid threats. You people need to grab a brain. In this state, you wouldn't get away with it. It would have been stopped. What you did led to the situation at present. If he went off the rails and did what you said, then he has to pay. But so do the 7 of you that were still left there. According to you, there was 10. If 7 of you ran away or hid while he walked into the bush, you're as guilty as he is. Because you did nothing. Did nothing. You understand that? What I'm saying from the experience I had in the Western Australian Police Force, where we were taught a lot better than the way you're behaving. And I don't excuse what took place in the Western Australian Police Force. I tried not to do the things the others did, and I succeeded. I tried to help people, and I succeeded. And if you walk away from this and you've done that, you've got to live with yourself. I've seen somebody fall apart, break down, and drink himself to death, and then commit suicide because he killed somebody. I know who it is. A lot of people know I know. But I know he suffered, and you people are going to suffer the same. You think you're free if you lie? You think you're going to get away with what you're doing if you lie? You think you're going to get away with it if you kill him? Your job is not to execute him. Your job is to make sure if he did what you said, he stands trial for it. Nobody else's job. Do I feel for all the people? Yes, I do. Every one of them. Including his family. They weren't there when he did it. And now it's come out his wife and his child wasn't there. And if that's true, I don't know, because there's so many lies come out of you people. But if you kill him, you will pay. I've got nothing more to say, only God help you, and God have mercy on your soul if you do that. You have to be pretty sick and a proper moron to kill that person. Amen. And that's all I can say to you, because nothing you say makes sense. The media, I don't believe, you're paid liars, and that's murder against it, against the society. Yeah, Mitchell, I agree. We have served warrants that end in bloodshed. All these cases smell of a similar rat. Yeah. I cannot say enough to just tell you, you were sworn to serve this country, serve the people, not politicians. They're not people. The satanic worshipping morons who think they have the right to rule over you when they have the right to rule for you. I hope what I said has some value. If I'm wrong, as I said, so be it. It's my feelings after the training I had and the years I spent in the police force that I'm right. Now you sort it out, because if you do that deed, people will find out and you will pay, in or out of a prison or whatever. But at the end of the day, you have to face God one day, and you will, for what you're doing. You think I'm a religious nut? That I'm not. I don't believe in religion. But I do believe there's a God, and I do believe you will pay. So you just take what I said, and you better not just shoot him like a dog, because he's not a dog. Even though he might have done it. I don't know. Yeah. They're against peds. Well, every single one of the police and the politicians, judges, magistrates, and all the lawyers, you're all guilty of pedophilia because you've let it sit and done nothing about it. Now, I'm not going into that. That's the end of it. It's my belief that you're out to kill him. If you do, you'll pay. You think I'm wrong? Wait and see. I'm not going to do it, but I know a lot of people already threatening. I don't agree with that. But if they do it and you've killed him, then tough on you. You think you're Superman? You're not. We're all humans. We're all fallible. Wake up. And don't do it. If you haven't already done it, don't do it. That's all I got to say. Thank you to everybody.